Hello everyone, it's Marcia Carradinza. I'm here with Scrappy Boy Stamps and I want to share my projects using the February 2024 release. I was lucky enough to be able to work on all three of the release themes, if you will, for the month. So I will start with the Once Upon a Time or the Fairy Tale release. Again, this is the second month that this special release is kicked off. Then I have the Cute Girls series and then our regular main release. So I will start with the Fairy Tale one. So I've created a few projects to share. I might as well just go through what the release looks like quickly. So again, we have Hansel and Gretel. This is the stamp set, and of course we've got the coordinating dies, they're tucked behind. So there's the stamp set. It always comes with a stencil, of course. This is the Forest Seam Builder. I absolutely love this stencil. Comes in two pieces. So you would do the tree, these green layers, if you will, is the second layer, and the first layer are the path stumps and the little mushrooms. Then we have the paper pack. These papers are, oh man, I hate to say they're my favorite, but these are definitely in my top 5 Scrappy Boy paper favorites. I still have a soft spot for the Cute Girls Day of the Dead paper. That one's just perfect, but I mean, the colors in this are so beautiful, the jewel tones. Oh, I love it. Of course, mushrooms, can't go wrong there. And then the die set. This creates a gingerbread house, and I'll show you how I used it 2 different ways. Other people on the team have done incredible projects. I can't wait for you to see theirs, where they assembled it correctly, but I wanted to show you modified Marcia versions, so you'd have some variety to choose from, but tons of die pieces, as you can see. So this is the, I can't remember the exact name, the gingerbread or something, mini album die, but of course you don't need to use it to make a mini album. So I'll start with one of my favorite projects. This is the first one I completed. It is a little book box, and there might be some fun news on this design sometime this year. So if you see, I embossed the edges a bit to look like pages. We've got a little spine. I partially stamped the Hansel and Gretel from the sentiment set to put on the spine of the book to look, you know, like the title. This die cut is from the gingerbread dies. We've got our Hansel and Gretel on the front with some of that patterned paper with the A2 stitched, which one is this one called? I'm gonna mess it up. I have it all laying beside me. The stitched scalloped edge dies here behind it. When you open it, there's a little pocket to hold a gift card. I realize you probably can't see that very well. It's right here. And it's just a box. My second project is using the gingerbread house die. And as you see, I offset the door and I cut through all the layers so that the image of the witch's booty sticking out of the fireplace there is what you see through the card. And I embellished the front, as you see. These are actually the negatives from the window frame. So they look like giant, what are they called? Gumdrops. There are gumdrop dies though in the die set. I just used the negative pieces here, so I use them from here. Here are some of the gumdrops. There's 2 sizes, I believe. This list size, I felt like there were 2 sizes. Yeah, those are 2 different sizes. Okay, so that's this one. And just like with my Fairy Tale release in January with Cinderella, I watercolored all the images using Caron markers on the Sweet Sentiment Premium coloring paper. And so this is the final project using that seam building stencil. And on the inside, I used a brown dye ink to add sentiment, a couple of the accessory images, and the top of the gingerbread house stamp. You'll forgive my sniffing. I feel like I'm catching a cold, so I'm trying not to sniff too much. Okay, so my second shares with you today. Oh, let me just go back to this because I did set them aside. So the ink colors I used for the stencil, because I know sometimes people ask, Use Distress Oxide inks in Ground Espresso for the brown layer, Rustic Wilderness for the greens, and Candied Apple for the reds. And I used one of those tiny detail blending brushes to get just the tops of the mushrooms. Again, very, very easy. I don't like complicated stencils where I have to do a lot of masking. This one was not that. I think you'll be very pleased. And I was speaking with Mr. Sean. I think this would be perfect with, oh man, with our Down the Rabbit Hole Stamps Alice, with maybe a little bit of a Yellow Brick Road kind of theme, if you get where I'm going with that. I'm trying to be careful and not use certain names. All right, so for my next projects, I will be sharing Cute Girls, Handy Girls. Again, this stamp set is so precious, especially for those of you girls that have a tool belt and like to get a little dirty and handy. I know we've been doing a lot of work on our house lately, so this definitely relates to myself and my girls. Again, coordinating dies, outline dies, I have them tucked here in the back. The paper. What I love about the paper is you have some of, you know, obviously the tools, a little bit of a ruler, things like that, but it's paired with some florals, so you can get a really nice mix match of some masculine paired with some of that feminine. And I like the colors too. They're really warm. I love this coral color. And then naturally, the tools background stencil will be great for any of these projects with the Handy Girls, but any of your masculine projects as well. Okay, so my first one, I'm very excited about this one, is using that gingerbread die that we saw from the Once Upon a Time fairy tale release. I had the epiphany to use it with the image of the girl trying to replace a light bulb. So it lights up. So here I stamped Push, and this is from My Favorite Things. And I used the one light from Pear Blossom Press. So you push, and look at that. Her little light bulb comes on. Isn't that fun? So there's lots of layers there. And all of this is popped up on the front of the card. See? I'll do it again. Isn't that cute? So I'll be sending this one to Mr. Sean. My second card features this cute little girl. I wanted to see if I could kind of change the gender on one of these girls into a boy to show that you don't have to necessarily use this set only for girls. So this one looked to be the easiest one that I could remove the hair from. I guess you could from this one as well. Just remove the ponytail. So I stamped her off, tried to wipe some of the ink off around here, and then just cut around her to make a little hem. And I use this fun fold card design here. I dry embossed the tools, I don't want to say the wrong name. Yeah, the tools background stencil, because I love that dry embossing. And then I stenciled it up here on this background layer. So when you open it up, thank you for a job well done on the inside. The outside we have the fun papers. So those are my projects for Cute Girls, Handy Girls. Oh, and then for the stenciling, I used weathered wood. And then for the main release, you guys are going to be so excited about this one, of course. We have Thank You for Being a Friend. I love these sassy ladies so much, and I will say, of all the images I've seen from other companies, these have to be my favorite. The personality that you can see just makes me giggle so much. So again, these are all the images. We have some amazing sentiments. Some of them are a little crass, but if you guys are familiar with these ladies, they are right on par with who they are. So I think many of you will be very excited and pleased with those. And of course, they come with the outline dies. We have a stencil. This is a 2-layer stencil called Thank You for Being a Friend Floral Background. So the one layer has the flowers, the other layer has the leaves. And then the paper pack is fantastic. This will be great not only to pair with these images, which bonus, we have faces on some of them. I was very excited about this. But this will be great for all of your summertime projects or vacation themes, things like that. The papers are gorgeous. So I created several projects with this one. I just couldn't help it. The first one is a card with some simple layers. I stenciled here on this oval layer, added on top of a wonky stitch layer with the tropical leaves, and then the final layer is just that stitched outer one with that basket weave to kind of pair with her little purse. Picture it, you're 1 year closer to Shady Pines. I didn't put anything on the inside of this one. My next one is a smaller card. I had some smaller card bases. So luckily one of my, the stitched rectangle dies fit on this one. I cut these leaves from another company's dies, but I wanted to add a little bit more elements to this. The tree bark, if you will, is using an offcut from this basket weave. I thought it worked pretty perfectly. Just various layers here. So happy belated birthday. Better late than pregnant. My last two are a tag and a bookmark. This one's a very simple project, but I wanted to let the paper itself kind of show itself off a bit. So I used the stitched romantic tags for this one. And then for this, I used the bookmark and toppers die set. And since I'm using 6x6 paper pad, I just partially die cut it so that I could use the paper size I have, even though the dies are longer. In this one, I felt like I didn't need to include any faces because I wanted to showcase this amazing pattern paper here. So I chose to just add the plate with the slice of cheesecake and the sentiment, thank you for being a friend, and call it a day. And then you can see the back, you know, because it's all the pattern paper. So these are all my projects from the February 2024 Scrappy Boy Stamps release. I hope you've enjoyed everything I've created to share, and can't wait to see what you guys share and make. You have a wonderful day. Thank you.